This is a picture I took in the year 2011 in the green room at Barnes Noble Bookstore at the Grove here in Los Angeles of Dick Van Dyke, Rose Marie, and Larry Mathews, and my friend Michael Stern. The reason I'm showing this is because today was the 98th birthday of Mr. Dick Van Dyke, a great, great man. And he was so kind to me that day. My little story, I do have a little personal story here. I don't know if it's of interest to people, but I was at Barnes & Noble. His autobiography had just been released, and he was going to do a book signing, but it was announced beforehand that only 200 people were going to be admitted. So I'm like number 204, 205, so I am out of luck. I have my copy of the book, but I'm not going to get to meet Dick Van Dyke or get it signed. Well, I ran into my friend Michael Stern, who said, "Chuck, how you doing?" I said, "Oh, I'm doing great, Michael. I couldn't get into the book signing for Dick Van Dyke. I'm leaving." And he goes, "Oh, come on. I'm meeting Rosemary, my friend Rosemary, and we're going to go up to the green room." And like a few minutes later, Rosemary did arrive. She was in a wheelchair, and I went with my friend Michael. I pushed Rosemary's wheelchair, and we went to the elevator, went up to the second level, and there I am standing behind Rosemary in her wheelchair. We knock on the door, and Dick Van Dyke himself answers the door. "Rosie, how are you? How are you?" He was so excited to see Rosemary, and of course I understood. He wasn't going to notice the rest of us. But I ended up becoming privy to a personal conversation, and I shouldn't have been, but I couldn't help it because I was standing there. Dick had just appeared on the Rachel Ray show a couple of days earlier, and Rachel had surprised him with Mary Tyler Moore. And Dick was very concerned, and he took Rosemary's hands, and he said, "Rosie, I'm really worried about Mary. It's not good. She can barely see. She's hardly able to stand anymore. She's quite ill. It's not good." And I'm standing there feeling kind of embarrassed. I'm listening to this. But anyway, Dick Van Dyke, Rosemary, and Larry Mathews, who played Richie on the show, were all there in the room. I handed my book to Dick Van Dyke, and I said, the first movie I ever saw in my life, literally the first movie I ever saw in my life in the movie theater, was Mary Poppins. And there I was meeting him, and he signed my book, and he was very gracious. And I took that picture, and I stupidly did not think to hand my phone to somebody so that I could have been in the picture, and I could have had my picture taken with the three of them, but at least I got to meet them. And that's my little story, and happy 98th birthday to the wonderful Mr. Dick Van Dyke. This is Chuck Dransfield. Please like and subscribe my channel, Chuck's Captivating Chronicles.